the question is how different the outline and the structure of the ITIL 4 foundation is. Remind you, the other intermediate modules, they have not been released yet, and so far there is no information is available. They will be available in the second half of this year. Right now, only ITIL 4 foundation is available, and ITIL 4 foundation, as I said, um, we also at QuickStart offering this training, and you can take exam of ITIL 4 foundation from 28 Feb onwards. You can take the exam, but the other higher level modules, they're not available yet. They will be, as I said, available from the second half of this year. So the question is, as far as the ITIL foundation outline and the structure is concerned, how different it is from ITIL version 3 outline. Well, those who have already gone through ITIL version 3 outline, and they have gone through this certification, they know that in ITIL version 3 everything is divided into 5 stages of service lifecycle. And so you start your foundation, and then you go with the first stage, which is the service strategy, and then you read all the processes which are associated with the ITIL, the first stage strategy, and then you go with the design, transition, operations, and then finally continual service improvement. And as you go from first stage to the fifth stage, you go through all 5. You go through all the stages. If you have all the you go through all the processes of those stages. um, is there a question, Etsham, you want me to answer now, or I can do it at the end?
I think this is a question that even I had in mind. So if you have no ITIL certification right now, what's the best path for you?
All right, so that's a excellent question, and I would suggest in that case, you can go ahead with the ITIL 4 foundation, with the this new one, and this. But then the question is, if you want to get certified at higher, let's say level, let's say expert level, and you want to do it before second half of this year, then in that case you can go ahead with the version 3 certification and then take the transition to become a ITIL 4 certified, just like MP stream we were talking about. But if you're not in hurry, and then in that case I would suggest you go ahead with the ITIL 4 foundation, and as the other higher level exams are available, you can start taking those exams or modules as when they will be available, because I see a lot of value in ITIL 4. I'm not trying to suggest that ITIL version 3 is not relevant, but what I'm trying to see here is I really like and I agree with the 2000 researchers who got together last year, and in 2017 from 42 countries, and who came up with this ITIL 4 new certification. So, there's a lot of value in it. And so if you're not really in a hurry, I think you can go ahead with the new ITIL 4, and you take the foundation, ITIL 4 foundation now, and then the higher modules as and when they will be available, as they said, from the second half of this year. All right. Does this answer your question, Ethiam?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying that version 3 is totally divides everything, categorize everything into the 5 stages, and then in every stage we go through all the processes which are associated with that particular stage. That's not how the ITIL 4 is. ITIL 4 um, has a, it actually came out of this um, stages discussion, and it has a different content from that perspective. It's not actually categorizing the way it used to in version 3. I'm not saying that these stages or the different phases of service life cycle are not valid or useful anymore. They still have the same importance, but the structure and the way they have brought it into the ITIL 4 is totally different, because they want to have a bigger picture. They want to have a holistic approach to bring the value for the customer. That includes the environment, that includes a lot of other factors which we did not consider into the version 3. So the topics we go through in ITIL 4, starting from the key concepts of service management, this is much similar to the version 3 also, because this first one, because it talks about the basic definitions like what is value, what is service, what is end user, what is customer, what is service provider. So it basically makes you familiar with the different terms, and that's exactly the same we had in version 3 when we were discussing different terms. And but then the second topic you see here, the guiding principles, that's different, because here in ITIL 4, the guiding principle basically talks about linking um, different concepts together. For example, how can you link the value optimization and their progress in and what you should be adopting, what practices you should be bringing into this. So this is the guiding principles. This is something I see different from version 3. Then the third topic you see here, 4 dimensions of service management. This is also a little different, because in version 3, we used to talk about the 4 Ps, the people, partners, products, and processes. But they have made changes into this, and now instead of 4 Ps, they talk about 4 dimensions. And these 4 dimensions are organization and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, and the fourth one is value streams and processes. So they have broaden the scope of this individual 4 Ps which we had in the services design stage of service life cycle. The other Okay, so then you see 2 topics here: service value system and service value chain activities. I consider these 2 topics as the main core, the innovative, the evolution you have, because these two are basically the center, and then the everything surrounds is basically to the service value system. So I put more attention to these 2 topics, and especially service value system, and which basically talking about the bringing value for the customer. But then in version 3, we were more kind of limited to the definitions of the fit for purpose and fit for use, warranty and utility. That's not the case here. The definition of value has a larger scope now compared to what we had in version 3. So and then service value chain basically is the core element of service value system. Is basically talks about 6 different activities which are linked together, and they bring value to your system, and then ultimately value for your customers services. And the last two, the topics you see here: purpose, definition of ITIL practices, and understanding of 34 ITIL practices. They talk about the different processes we have already been discussed in the different phases of service life cycle in version 3. They have Excelos have modified some titles. For example, service portfolio management is now called as portfolio management. The change management is now called as change control. So there has been some changes, and some more practices have also been added to the earlier ones. So basically, these are the processes which we were discussing earlier. Now, I won't be going through this. This is basically what is service value system and service value chain and service value streams. The reason I added this here is just I want to give you an idea that how this ITIL 4 content looks like. And so basically, in this ITIL 4, they're talking about the new model, which is service value system, and then how it can bring value and in overall in environment. And then the service value chain is center of the service value system. And then the service value stream is, let's say, something when you're bringing a new feature in your software or in your product, then you need a service value stream. So the reason I just included it here is just want to give you an idea that what is new content is like. And of course, we can, go when we go through this. And these are the 6 service value chain activities, which you can see here. They belong to different stages of service life cycle that includes design, strategy. So, so basically the purpose is to bring more value for the customer.